is Adam, and I'm going to explain the steps that I have followed in order to accommodate my business letter of introduction. Well, the first thing I did was to read 2 articles. The first one is called Intercultural Business Pragmatics, the case of the business letter of introduction. And then I read another one, which is called Can a Lingua Franca Bridge the Communication Gap between corporations set in different cultures? Well, I read them in order to get familiar with the topic, and I got very useful information that helped me in the accumulation of the letter. As we all know, Spanish and North American culture hold different cultural orientations, and thus they have different expectations. So, being aware of that, I started looking for the problems that make the Spanish letter not to be effective or appropriate for a North American audience. Well, the first problem I found at first sight had to do with the length of the text. It was too long, and the sentences were too long as well. And I also saw a tendency for diversiveness, ambiguity, and uncertainty. In addition, the letter lacked a structure, so the information appeared to be disordered, and the purpose statement was presented in an in-depth way. So all those features are similar of a Spanish culture, which hold a high level of uncertainty avoidance index, and which will be effective for a North American audience. Then I focused on the type of language used, and I realized that the language was very expressive, constantly appealing to emotions, and I found many examples of figurative language. So we have comunicator y maracuarela de la Gran Segovia. And in addition, the letter also uses lexical terms related to family and children. So, for instance, we have la sonrisa del niño, la felicidad de la familia, and those features are typical of the Spanish culture, which we call a low level of masculinity index. So the Spanish culture tends to do something in a more feminine form than an North American audience would expect. Moreover, I also noticed the use of involvement strategies. So it refers to the self as the whole company, and we find examples like, for instance, Compañía X, la empresa. And in addition, it also combines those involvement strategies with positive collaboration strategies in order to create a group with the customer. So an example of this is nuestro éxito para entrar en el mercado americano depende de su satisfacción. Notice a very close contact and a collective style of writing, which will be effective for a North American audience because they tend to be individualistic. So those are the problems that I have found in the Spanish letter, and I have to provide a solution for those problems, and here come the solutions. Well, firstly, as North American culture hold a low level of uncertainty avoidance index, I have to reduce the length of the text, the length of the sentences, and I have to eliminate all the digressions, uncertainty, and ambiguity. In addition, I have to start the letter with a clear purpose statement and go straight to the main point with a clear structure from the general to particular. Secondly, as North American audience hold a high level of masculinity index, I have to change the focus from the person orientation to a more task orientation one, and I have to use instrumental language instead of using figurative language. So as an example of this, we have the result is that we require representation in the American continent, which is more direct. And to solve the third problem, we have to do with the individualism index. Well, as North American culture
in the case of this panel letter, it was used positive politeness strategies. In this case, I used negative politeness strategies in order to show respect for the audience space. So to conclude, you have here the accommodation of the business letter in English, so you can read it and you will see all the changes that I have mentioned before. And I have also included a slide with the main references that have been very useful for me to perform this task. So I hope